right, let's see. 59. There are witty sayings also which carry a concealed suspicion of ridicule, of which sort is that of the Sicilian, who, when a friend of his made lamentation to him, saying that his wife had hanged herself upon a fig tree, said, I beseech you give me some shoots of that tree, that I may plant them. Of the same sort is what Catilius said to a certain bad orator, who, when he imagined that he had excited compassion at the close of a speech, asked our friend here, after he had sat down, whether he appeared to have raised pity in the audience. Very great pity, replied Crassus, for I believe there is no one here so hard-hearted, but that your speech seemed pitiable to him. Those jests amuse me extremely which are expressed in passion, and as it were with moroseness, not when they are uttered by a person really morose, for in that case, it is not the wit but the natural temper that is laughed at. Of this kind of jest there is a very humorous example, as it appears to me, in Naevius. Why mourn you, father? Strange that I do not sing. I am condemned. Contrasted with this, there is a patient and cool species of the humorous, as when Cato received a stroke from a man carrying a trunk, who afterward called him to take care. He asked him whether he carried anything else besides the trunk. There is also a witty mode of exposing folly, as when the Sicilian, to whom Scipio, is it Scipio? No, Sapio, when praetor assigned his host for an advocate in such cause, a man of rank but extremely stupid, said, I beseech you, praetor, give me the advocate to my adversary, and give me none. Praetor, give me the advocate to my adversary, and give me none. Explanations of things, too, are amusing, which are given from conjecture in a sense far different from that which are intended to convey, but with ingenuity and aptness. As when Scarius accused Rutilius of bribery, at the time when he himself was made consul, and Rutilius suffered a disappointment, and showed these letters to Rutulius's books, AFPR, and said that they signified actum fide Publii Rutuli, transacted on the faith of Publius Rutulius, while Rutulius declared that they meant ante fatum post relatum, done before, entered after. But Caius Canius, being on the side of Rufus, observed that neither of those senses were intended by the letters. What then is the meaning? Inquired Scarius. Aemilius fecit. Pectular Rutulius replied, Canius, Aemilius is guilty, Rutulius is punished. 60. A union of discordant particulars is laughable, as what is wanting to him except fortune and virtue? A familiar reproof of a person as if he were in error is also amusing, as when Albosius taunted Granius, because when something appeared to be proved by Albucus from Granius's writing, Granius rejoiced extremely that Scaevola was acquitted, and did not understand that judgment was given against the credit of his own writing. Similar to this is friendly admonition by way of giving advice, as when Granius persuaded a bad pleader who had made himself hoarse with speaking to drink a cold mixture of honey and wine as soon as he got home. I shall ruin my voice, said he, if I do so. It will be better, said Granius, than to ruin your clients. It is a happy hit, too, when something is said that is peculiarly applicable to the character of some particular person, as when Scarius had incurred some unpopularity for having taken possession of the effects of Frigio Pompeius, a rich man who died without will and was sitting as counsel for Bestia. Then under impeachment, Caius Memmius, the accuser, As a funeral procession passed by, said, "Look, Scarius, a dead body is going by if you can but get possession. But of all jokes, none create greater laughter than something said contrary to expectation, of which there are examples without number. Such was the saying of Appius the elder, who, when the matter about the public lands and the law of Thorius was in agitation in the Senate, and Lucilius was hard pressed by his cattle, was hard pressed by those who asserted that the public pastures were grazed by his cattle, said, 'They are not the cattle of Lucilius, you mistake.' He seemed to be going to defend Lucilius. 'I look upon them as free, for they feed where they please.' That saying also of the Scipio who slew Tiberius Gracchus amuses me. When after many charges were made against him, Marcus Flaccus proposed Publius Mucius as one of his judges. 'I accept against him,' said he is unjust.' And when this occasioned a general murmur, 'Ah,' said he, 'I do not accept against him, conscript fathers, as unjust to me, but to everybody.' But nothing could be more witty than the joke of our friend Crassius, when Sillus, a witness, was injuring the cause of Piso by something that he said he had heard against him. 'It is possible,' said he, Sillus, 'that the person from whom you heard this said it in anger.' Silas assented. 'It is possible, too, that you did not rightly understand him.' To this also he assented with the lowest of bows, expressing entire agreement with Crassus. 'It is also possible,' continued Crassius, 'that what you say you have heard you never heard at all.' This was so different from what was expected that the witness was overwhelmed by a general laugh. Naevius is full of this kind of humor, and it is a familiar joke. 'Wise man, if you are cold, will you shake?' And there are many. 'If you are cold, you will shake.' And there are many other such sayings. Oh,